Underdog keep throwing tournaments at us. This time, 20 max poodle. We are going to dive into one very soon. Tyler is here in all his emo glory. This Fantasy Sanctuary Underdog Best Ball show. Let's get into it. That's right. Me, Tom Strachan, but more importantly, the emo cowboy himself. Tyler, how are you doing?
And some audio doubling going on in the background. What up, everybody? How's it going? I got to give the people what they want, you know? They said we get 100 likes, you put it all on, you go all out. So that's what I did. I went new cowboy hat shopping yesterday. I actually really like the hat, so I will definitely be wearing this more than once. And had the wife help out with the guy liner, you know, get a little smoky eye going on, you know. It's just having fun on Sundays, man. That's what brunch is for. Get dressed, go out, have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, we hit 250 likes on a video, and maybe I'll have to follow suit. But for now, I'll let you. I'll let the emo cowboy keep his corner. So we are going to get into a poodle draft very shortly. But Tyler, have you been in the poodle streets much this weekend?
I'm cranking poodles left and right, man. You know, it's a time box. These sickos are going to fill it up. And, you know, I'm going to wake up one morning, it's going to be gone. I'm not going to fill it. I'm going to be just raging against my OCD not getting filled. So, yeah, I think I've done like 10 so far. All. Hey, man, if football doesn't make you cry, then you don't love it enough and you don't care enough about ball.
I am very much here for all of these types of comments today. So yeah, keep it rolling. So how many of the 20 poodle entries have you done, Tyler?
I think I'm right at 10, so 50% so far. I love these time box contests. It's a really fun way to you know, change it up. It's definitely the place to get weird, you know, get a little freaky just because time box means less likely that your you know, your weird little things are duplicated in a big way. So I think, you know, things like reaches and combinatorial ownership definitely actually gets unique in these time box contests. So you know, swapping up your second and third rounders to try to get unique combos of those are going to be fun. Although I'll say every time I try to do that, I see someone getting something stupid unique because 3 people are doing something weird and unique, and then they get like all this ADP value that creates its own little combo. So it's definitely, you know, you're like, do I do it? Do I not do it? And these poodle streets have been weird too, man. Every once in a while, I'll see a quarterback go like Kyler go like 2 rounds late. And then I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna push the hell out of QB. And then I get sniped into the dirt and end up with just some crap garbage late quarterback build. So they've definitely been godless and chaotic more than they haven't, but it's been fun. And as Josh says, a lot of ADP value in these. So
yeah.
it's been a good time.
Yeah, and I chatted with Andrew Erickson on our DraftKings stream last Wednesday about that, and he brought up the point that it's the onesie positions who really fall. Like, you don't see wide receiver fall. You might see running backs fall, but tight ends occasionally fall, and more often than not, it's QBs falling. And, you know, you can get a QB falling 20 to 30 spots sometimes, and being able to work with that. The ones who you can either take a stack on and going, okay, I can't really stack them, but can I add them to some week 17 correlation and try and find something up there? Give us a heads up, Tom. We're going to make Tyler's eyeliner run. This promises to be one of the more fun Sunday shows we've got going. But Tyler, let's jump into one. Let me just switch over views and get onto the draft board because yeah, it's time to get busy in these streets.
All right, I went right like we said, right at 12:05. So Yosh, I hope you got in there.
So we're at the 105 after picking up the 101 last week when we were in Superflex streets. Took Josh Allen with that one, but 105, it feels like this is still one of the more contentious areas of the first round because, like, you get past the tier of wide receivers and everyone's like, okay, Bijan Robinson, okay, Breece Hall, don't mind that. And the back end is the back end. But I'm seeing so many people say, Amon-Ra St. Brown should be going ahead of Justin Jefferson, or Justin Jefferson should be going ahead of Jamar Chase. Like, what have you been mixing it up, given that this is a time box contest in these kind of positions? What have you been doing with these picks, Tyler?
I mean, it's a lot of vibes, to be honest. I will say I have rectified my 0 Jamar Chase, since. And, of course, the first Jamar Chase I get post-draft, I make a 0 running back, 0 quarterback build in BBM. I'm like, "Well, fine. If I'm gonna take Chase, Chase has to go nuke." But in these, I mean, I personally am Bijan over Chase and Jefferson in its own little mini tier as far as just, and so it's much easier to do that in these time box contests. I mean, Amon-Ra at this point is fine, but I've seen Laporta falling in some of these to the turn. So if I'm gonna do Amon-Ra, I'm hoping I can get him falling. I'm pretty much hoping to get, if I'm getting stuck in a lot of the back end, so I'm getting fallers or just having to like make do at the back end. But here in the early parts, I'm just trying to get guys I like, or guys that will open up stacks I like more oftentimes than not. So
So,
with that said, what you feeling like you wanna do here, Tom? Because I've done everything.
so let's take Amon-Ra, and we can circle back to why I want to go on Amon-Ra in a little bit. But yeah, in terms of these drafts where they are time boxed, and obviously reaching is a delicate balance. You don't want to reach too much, but you want to find that balance of going, okay, I want to construct something nobody else has. So leaning into kind of what you were saying about taking the falling value on players, and as we discussed, that's more likely to be at quarterback than it is at wide receiver. If we could get Sam Laporta to as a reach in the second round, would you be open to that in this kind of contest?
Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable making any discernible moves that we want to do because anything that we're gonna lose out on value, we're gonna help out in uniqueness while also being aware that, we're gonna adjust on the fly for what we're doing throughout. And on top of that, I mean, and what like doing 10 of these, I've already seen some pretty egregious fallers. I mean, even at receiver and running back, I saw B Rob go 2 rounds late on this morning's coffee poodle. Last night saw Troy Franklin drop to like 188. So I mean, we're gonna just scoop up falling value to to adjust and try to be as optimal. If we're going to make a suboptimal move early for uniqueness, then we're not going to double down with more suboptimal moves. So I think
Yeah,
as long as you're doing something like that intentionally with awareness on how to adjust on the back end, then you're good.
yeah. Let's see. So shout out to Robert Griffin joining us today. GM, you beautiful humans. Appreciate everyone checking in from across there. So where are we going with this, Tyler? I could be swayed by Sam Laporte, but if you think he falls to a third, then let's do that. And I'd just shout for either Nico or Debo.
Let's go with Nico.
Yeah, I've not been drafting as much Nico as I possibly should be. Uh, in case you're wondering, we've got loads more drafts coming up on this channel over the next few weeks. Joined by Pat from Fantasy Dog Pound tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Justin Herzig on Wednesday for a DraftKings draft. John from the Badge Bros a week on Monday. John Daigle from ETR the following Wednesday. Steph Miller from Legendary Upside the following Monday here with me and Tyler. Ian Hartitz, Pete Overzet. We've got the guys from Fantasy Unleashed, Chris Allen, Dwayne McFarlane, Mike Leone. There is so many big guests coming and so many great people. But of course, me and Tyler will be here constantly. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and hit that like button. I know you good people will have done that already.
Yeah, just a
Tyler, any
reminder to y'all that if I'm doing this for just 100 likes on a video, imagine what that 3,000 sub goal is going to be, and imagine what I have a lofty like goal for the Pete video, and I think y'all are going to like it. It involves a handlebar mustache and some play, so you know, keep coming back. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up around the bend, and the only reason why I like taking Nico there is there's a chance that Debo has been falling into the third as well. So any way we can try to get this correlation falling with another guy we really like at ADP, it's another thing I like playing around with there.
Yeah, so we're a couple of picks away. Devon Acham, Malik Neighbors, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, Sam Laporta, and Derrick Henry right there for us. So for me, this one's pretty clear. If Laporta falls to us, I'd like to lean into that stack because it's a stack I haven't really landed anywhere. so much. And part of that is because I've been avoiding Sam Laporta and scooping the Mark Andrews, the Trey McBrides, even some Kyle Pitts. So yeah, I'd like to see how that works. Casey saying, as a Ravens fan like me, how painful is it to have no Derrick Henry? It hurts, but I think when you look at the Ravens in that kind of range, it's so much easier to click Zay Flowers. It's so much easier to click Mark Andrews and Lamar. So I think when all's said and done, I'll be somewhere between 5 and 10% on Derrick Henry, simply because he could score 15 touchdowns and it wouldn't really surprise anyone. And on Underdog's half PPR format, that seems worth chasing to a level. But yeah, like on DraftKings, where most of my solo drafts are, the full PPR format, it's just a really tricky part of the draft to draft him. Have you been drafting him at all, Tyler?
It's tough because taking him, you feel a little bit behind if even if you went wide receiver. That said, I'm smashing every time he comes back to me in the fourth, which he's been doing a little bit more often the last few days just to get access to that. So I'm kind of going a lot of zero RB lately just to see which falling running backs I can get to add to my portfolio, because I think it's even more powerful if I'm fading a guy and my only shares of him are going to be supercharged, leaning into him being the pick that I should have taken, but now with an extra, receiver or something valuable added to that. So I'm getting him a lot in at the back turn or in the 40s, or sometimes I just straight up take him like a anchor running back, trying to build something with him
Yeah.
as leverage on those things. I'm just doing it sparingly at this point, just because it really does feel like you can fall behind really, really quickly. But I'm being pretty flexible. I'm trying to keep in mind how I'm diversifying, and if I'm gonna fade a guy, or just not take him a lot because I'm taking other guys, I'm gonna forcibly take him and build the best roster I can around him. And
Yeah.
Henry does have just a clear, I'll smash being efficient, still athletic, still got some juice on a team that's going to lead probably 10 to 13 games this season. And you hope that those
Yeah.
just get in the playoffs.
That just going back to the comment in the
Damn.
chat, that must have been a really
Damn,
bad
Robert.
draft because DK Toss is just about nothing. So it must have been a
Yeah.
real stinker.
That's
Where we at?
shocking.
So Tyler, I mean, for me, I've been trying to draft a little bit more Amari Cooper lately, much as I don't like Deshaun Watson, but I'd be happy taking Christian Kirk either. Do you have a strong lean on either of them?
I probably have near 36% Amari, and if I had to guess how much I have in this poodle, it's probably close to 85%. So I'm happy to
Nice.
add more Amari.
That's the kind of bet I think is great to make in these 20 team contests. Like if you were talking about like your favorite non flagship tournament, what size contest is your favorite? Is these 20 max, 3 max, 50 max? Where is it that you just go bam, got to enter a shitload of these?
I love the single entry just because the field size is so like the
Yeah.
golden. I loved last year, and we famously talked about how it was brutal last year because they only had one of it, and it was only winner take all, and that was brutal. But this year we've already had our second one. I think it's about to fill if it hasn't already filled. So we've had 2 single entry small fields. Love those, and then the 3 entries are fantastic. I think it's a really fun way to really hone in, especially when you see how many people I hear a lot like, oh, I keep entering these and forgetting and getting distracted and getting autoed. And I'm like, all right, so it sounds like the field in these is going to be pretty shitty. So I don't have to be perfect. And then, yeah, these poodles I love because, yeah, the 20 max price point, the field size, it all lines up. I love doing these.
I think the kudos of winning a single entry best ball tournament would be fantastic. Like, knowing that you had one bullet in there, the same as everyone else, and you literally had the very best team with that. Shout out to our good friend Fantasy Football Garage, back in the streaming streets. I see him churning out content a minute. Check out his channel if you haven't already. One pick away with our 3 wide receivers and tight end.
I had
Christian
a
Kirk
feeling he'd
makes
come
it
back
back
around.
around. Yeah, I mean, taking that half round ADP, unless you want to go double elite tight end with one like Dalton Kincaid. I mean,
Now let's roll with the nuclear Laporta season, and I feel good about. I'm not getting a lot of Kirk lately because he's. I'm assuming ETR ranks have boosted him into that early fourth, mid fourth ADP range. because I see him going before Pickens and Cooper a lot. So, and he's either going before me or I'm taking Cooper over Kirk every single time. It's not a contest. I'm sorry. I'm taking the guy that can drop 30 plus points, still produce at a high level, even with Deshaun sucks in at quarterback, has Jameis Winston behind him. But I'd love Kirk in the fifth, so give me Kirk in the fifth. And so yeah, I think I like a roster like this that has a lot of high floor and a lot of high ceiling. I like making that combo a lot, and this also gives us access to stacks and
Yeah,
teams that I want to bet on.
yeah, and Casey's saying Kirk is my number one. Thanks, Leone. I mean, the thing with Kirk as well is there's not really so many questions about the Jags offense, whereas Amari Cooper, is Deshaun Watson going to be any good? Does he even care about playing football? George Pickens, are the Steelers going to be good? Is Debo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk going to land there? Like, there's constantly been those kind of whispers.
Well, is the Arthur Smith offense going to pass enough to make Pickens worthwhile more than the occasional spike? And
Well, yeah, I mean, that was my knock on George Pickens before last season. It was big plays, not big points. And,
yeah.
he's ideal for best ball in some ways. But when you're talking about like a fourth round pick, it's a lot to pay for a player. So, yeah, I mean,
we just saw it not work out with Drake London in the fourth, and then Drake London fell to the fifth, and we were all like, "Oh my god, we've accessed the skeleton key. This is so easy. Bet on the talent." And Matt Harmon wrote on Reception Perception that yeah, he's unlocked some things, but he's still a volatile. Got to break it big to make it work. Well, if he's only gonna get 4 or 5 targets a game, he could probably get there a couple times, but is a couple times, if that's the floor, is that going to be enough for a 4th round pick? Hard to say. This is a little interesting pocket here. Do you have any strong leans?
Lad McConkey's somebody I struggle to click, but maybe this is the right contest to take him in because he's probably not going to fall much more, but maybe he gets smoked up a bit more in BBM and stuff. And again, the way we're building our quarterback room potentially out, Justin Herbert would probably fit into that. So I don't mind taking him. Have you
Also,
been
as wide receiver 5, it's nice to have a
Yeah,
rookie wide receiver
exactly.
with some juice.
That's it. Like taking Lad McConkey when you went RB, hero RB is a lot harder click for me even when I go zero running back. So I'm definitely fine with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ideally we would have been able to stack Brian Thomas, but he goes 2 picks before us. So I like Lad. I just had a whole week of Twitter engagement. I apparently have now taken up the cross for Lad, our Lord and Savior in LA against the masses. So I'm not mad about it. I'm also pushing Rashad because he's been falling lately. I got my first BBM share in that 0 RB, 0 QB build last week at pick 78 to stack with Evans. So I'm not catching the falling knife. It looks like Rashad probably coming down at least a round here in the next couple weeks.
yeah, I think that's coming into the off season, I felt much more confident about Rashad White and thinking that he could be a reasonable value, but there just seems to be a few whispers about him and that it's not really going to be quite the role we maybe once hoped. So yeah, I'm fine with that.
Oh god, I love this so much. Thank you. Y'all have no idea how much I've needed emo jokes in the fantasy football space. So this is filling a big scar in my heart. Yeah, my thing with Lad is elite speed, really good burst, wide open depth chart, very good quarterback, and a rookie, highly drafted. I don't want to be too everybody besides the top 3 receivers who all had some question marks themselves. They've all got huge question marks. Brian Thomas, big
Yeah.
question mark. Keon Coleman, big question mark. AD Mitchell, big question mark. I get that the price sucks, but dude, which wide receiver doesn't feel a little gross after the
No,
first round?
and Lad McConkey fits the Chargers perfectly. So we're back on the clock with our 5 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Evan Ingram for the stack, or do you want to look at running back?
Well, yeah, I'm just looking at and we can also triple stack the Lions. These are kind of what I'm looking at. What's your lean?
Let's onslaught this bitch and go Jameson Williams slate.
Boom. You heard it here first, folks. Onslaught this bitch. Let's fucking go.
Because I do think that's something which is going to be done less so in a lot of these contests. I think that there's a balance between, we started off our streaming series talking about skinny stacks and how efficient they can be. And while I think that's something which is definitely worth paying attention to, the advance rates in this tournament are quite friendly, aren't they? Like it's what, 2 of 12, then 1 of 6, 1 of 5, and then a 300-person final, something around that. So I think if you can sneak a big stack through to the final, and then it turns out that, okay, yes, Jared Goff's playing outside in week 17, and we've got to hope his tiny hands can hold the ball. But I'm okay leaning into those things which people might be afraid of doing.
Yeah, especially in a contest like this where the fields, I think like the finals like what, 3-10? So it's
Yeah.
not stupid big. And in the playoff world, it's nice to just say, hey, we just saw the Lions be like a top 10 offense on both the ground and through the air. They're set up for what, all but 3 games to be inside, which is good for Goff. Goff gets an extra year in this Ben Johnson offense, and for the first time in JMO's entire career, he's getting some good like feedback and stuff. It's like, yeah, if we're making a bet on the Lions, let's just capture all of the touchdowns through the air, because there's also the chance that they regress in being super heavy or efficient on the ground, at least over a season, if not a stretch of games, especially, in a tougher division where they got to like really, pedal to the metal, all gas, no brakes. We've just captured all of that, and we're hoping that we just hit all those spikes when it matters, as it matters, because, if we're going to double stack it, may as well get and like you said, onslaughts are probably less likely happening in these contests, but for, really good offenses, like why not? People are onslaughting the Chiefs or onslaughting the Bills. The
Yeah.
Lions provide a lot of those accesses the same way, especially if contingent value, we took another running backs. If either one of those guys misses time, our pieces are going to see more of a spike.
Yeah, and just before we get back on the clock, I mean, the Lions are still projected for 26 points in week 15, 25 points in week 16, and then 23 points against the Niners in week 17. Like, there's potential shootouts there.
Absolutely.
The man, the myth, the legend, Jalen Warren, easy click here.
Yeah, anchor RB, pay our tithe to legendary upside, and get a little bit of that magic sprinkle dusted on our Lions onslaught. I like it.
People drafting into an Arthur Smith OC led team are ready to be hurt again, as Index said higher up in the chat, but we'll take that for here because, I mean, we've talked extensively about Jalen Warren plenty of times already, and we'll keep drafting him, keep being aggressive. My most drafted player on DraftKings at the minute, the most drafted player in any of our streams, I think, across all the DraftKings. And yep, 31% of our streams so far we're sitting out with Jalen Warren, our most drafted running back. So let's keep doing it. Any chance you'll consider grabbing Purdy, even though he typically goes before Goff? What are you thinking, Tyler?
Purdy's the QB that's been following the most often, and so I'm very comfortable taking him if he comes back to us around, and then we just get Purdy and Goff. That seems like a lot of fun to me.
So James Conner's somebody I've been trying to draft a little bit more of lately. For me, hearing Pat Crane talk about how he's also been trying to do that was a bit like confirmation bias for me that, okay, maybe it's not a bad shout. And I think particularly we're probably going to live in the round, 11 to 13 range, where we want to take 2 running backs in that range who are probably rookies or guys with insecure roles. Taking James Conner makes some sense to me after such a wide receiver heavy start for this one.
KZ, I don't know how many people are going to appreciate this, but I appreciate it a lot as someone that loves Armor for Sleep and finally got to see them live for the first time at when we were Young Fest last year. That was a blast. Yeah, so for James Conner, it's it really is eye of the beholder, isn't it? Like you could either see, hey, last year the contract, struggle staying healthy, old guy, they just drafted new fun rookie. He's going to take his lunch. He's going to miss time. You can tell yourself all those things, and you can also say, well, he was really, really good last year on a really shitty team up until like the last few weeks, and then he crushes when it matters most. They're leaning on him. He's in the last year of contract. They have no reason not to kind of just run him into the ground. And what if he stays healthy for enough games, a la Kyron, where he's just the guy for like 70 to 75% with pass catching a goal line and just gets there. And at cost, he's not that different than a Javonte bet.
No, absolutely. I mean, but the thing with James Conner as well is like how reliable he was last year. Yes, he's not played more than 13 games in the last 2 years, but in 5 of his 12 games last year that are fantasy relevant, he finished as a top 12 running back,
Yeah.
finished inside the top 36 in 4 more. That's like where we're drafting him. That's absolutely the kind of production that just makes sense when you're in a 0 running back build. So no, I'm absolutely fine with it. And
especially like outside the top 7 rounds. Exactly. You want to talk about emo as hell? James Conner beats cancer, cries it out of his system, and then just crushes in Pittsburgh and in Arizona. Lest we forget that he killed everyone's famous favorite pass catcher in Chase Edmonds.
So, do we want to take Trevor Lawrence here for the stack or wait on quarterback? I'm kind of fine taking Lawrence. I think he's a decent value in this range, but I'm happy to listen to other arguments.
No, I think T-Law and Goff is a fun quarterback combo. A little bit of mobility, a little bit of please God get us there. Don't let us down when it matters on both ends. Yeah, just one fucking time, Jaguars. Be fucking cool. Catch the ball, throw it in bounds.
Because if you're talking about like the Lions having a difficult playoff schedule, the Jags have a difficult matchup in week 15 against the Jets, or potentially difficult. But then at Las Vegas and then playing against the Titans, I'm expecting Denard Wilson to get the Titans secondary to be much better this year, but I'm still not remotely scared of those last 2 games. So yeah, it feels like if you combine those two, that works.
Yeah, and even the Jets one, it could be sneaky good for Lawrence Skinnied, because that definitely feels like a matchup where they're struggling against the pass defense, and Lawrence just has to go, fuck it, I just need to tuck it and run it. And we've seen him do that a little bit in those matchups, and that is what we want him to do for fantasy, is like run a little bit more. You tall, fast, but weirdly opposed to running bitch, like get your ass moving, let's go. So I like it. Especially as he passes Rodgers on the sidelines, goes, "This is what running looks like, old man. It's passing you by."
Aaron Rodgers. I'll do my own research.
Oh God.
So yeah, in terms of this room, I know a couple of people missed out and hit the overflow, but if you are in here, and let us know how you're feeling about your team. Tyler, just for the audio listeners, because we are trying to put more of these out on our podcast feed, which you can find on all major podcast platforms. Would you mind recapping it, sir?
With pleasure. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, Sam Laporta, Amari Cooper, Christian Kirk, Ladd McConkey, Jamo Williams, Jalen Warren, James Conner, Trevor Lawrence, and Jared Goff. So it's a fun team with some nice spikes, a Lions onslaught, some mobility at quarterback. T-Law seems to be everyone's favorite, quarterback pick for price and upside. Access to some fun teams, some fun games in week 17, and some of our favorite running back targets on our 0 running back build.
Yep, it was good. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. Let us know how many likes are sitting down there. We are 10 subscribers away from 2,250. Fully believe in the great people watching this stream live right now, but we could get there today. We've got Pat from Fantasy Dog Pound on tomorrow, which will definitely be a fun show. And in terms of this team, how do you feel like this sits compared to some of your other Poodle drafts? Is it out there or quite conventional? Doesn't feel too.
This might be the most normal Poodle room I have been in yet, and I would have loved to be in with all of our friends and family, but I have a strong suspicion you sickos would have made it just as chaotic as it's been for me the last few days. So yeah, this is pretty normal. I'm a little shocked someone didn't snipe Goff, to be very honest. And You know, Purdy sitting there, it would have been nice to have same full game stack. So that one almost comes back around. But that's why I like pushing Brock, is because I think Brock and T-Law are pretty much back to back as far as who you want. We had both stacked, and I'm always happy to push a quarterback when I have one that I value very similarly available right behind. But yeah, this is fun. This is shaping up nicely. I have a sneaking suspicion who we're going to take here next and just kind of roll with it. Although I am concerned we might get boxed out. But
well, I'd be good with Kendry Miller, or was it Gabe Davis you were thinking of?
Yeah, just for double stacking, and then we're done at receiver.
Well, let's go Gabe Davis and be done at receiver, and then like there's a nice tier of running backs there. I mentioned on the members only draft stream we did on Thursday night that I'm currently working on a video about the running backs between round 9 and round 12, and that'll be out probably this week. And it just feels like a range where every single draft, I want to hit 2 or 3 running backs here, because historically we've seen this range be really rich for running backs. We've seen the likes of James Conner, Leonard Fournette, Rashad White all come from this range, and it feels even richer this year than ever. And Tyler, I'm struggling to come up with a name for this, because everyone needs a name for their piece of content they want to be known for. Like you say, running back dead zone. Everyone knows Gretsch, Jack Miller, zero running back. Everyone knows Sean Siegel. The only name I can come up with so far is the running back glory hole. So do you think that's going to play well?
Yeah, I like
Any problems there?
The robust glory hole, potentially, if you're doing 2 of them. But I had a feeling we'd miss out on some of our favorite running back names there, but I think this is a point where we can say we're done at quarterback, we're done at receiver, and the rest of the draft is going to be running backs. And I kind of like pushing one position to the max. So,
yep.
I mean, if Tom's a smart
club.
man. Tom's a smart man. He knows.
Okay, so Jalen Wright would be fine by me. Ray Davis or Antonio Gibson, I think, or maybe even Kamani Vidal. I'm happy with pretty much any of those 4. Anyone you want to make a strong shout for? I don't think any of them particularly give us great correlation over maybe Ray Davis, but that's week 15 stuff.
Antonio correlates with Ladd McConkey week 17, and I've seen Wright fall a little bit. So and then as far as like in a vacuum, I think Antonio, we need a little bit of standalone value week to week, and Antonio's definitely got more of that in a ambiguous backfield.
Yes. Case saying not familiar, must be a British thing. Well, the saying actually comes from gold mining. Like, I don't know what all you sex crazed people are thinking of, but yeah.
So we could call it the hole miner.
I'm not sure how that's going to play on SEO, but
we would get a different crowd. They would be much more inclined with my in line with my OnlyFans crowd for the hole mining. I love we hit almost 100 viewers. We started talking about glory hole and hole mining for the running back pocket in the 13th and 14th. By the way,
that is it. Seductive Sunday here on the Fantasy Sanctuary. We will. I'm not sure how to finish that sentence, so I'll just leave.
Yeah, I think Sack has been calling, like, when you're catching up at running back, going like 3, 4, 5 straight, the Shrek turd. That, I mean, you can tell Sack is a math guy and not like a biophysiological guy, because last I checked, the shit that comes out of you does not necessarily match the skin color you have. So newsflash. So I just you know what? Sack, I would rename that Frogger. There you go. You're welcome.
So since our last pick, pretty mixed stuff, a lot of different players going off the board. As you said, Jalen Wright does almost make it back to us, as does Ray Davis. Jaleel McLaughlin as well, who since some pretty wild takes about Jaleel McLaughlin. Are you happy with Jalen Wright, or is there anyone else there? I mean, we're kind of done at quarterback. We're kind of done at wide receiver.
I think Wright makes sense as both adding to a running back room, high value backfield, correlates with Cooper week 17. I can't say no to it at that point. Banking on him coming back around and just needing. I like him more than Ray Davis as far as potential to give us a serious usable week or multiple usable weeks. If I'm leveraging Mostert's age, I'm leveraging Achan's potential availability over a full season. I'm leveraging the pass game being good the whole season, and I'm leveraging a running back that landed in the perfect spot to only need this is your Keaton Mitchell, by the way, of last year. Like small back, a lot of juice, can get 4 to 8 touches and do a lot with them. I just don't like paying for the price above some of the clearer, better like standalone handcuffs.
Yeah, and if we've left it there, I think you start feeling a bit more shaky about that running back position. So I'm fine with that. When you have taken Sam Laporta, do you keep it to a strictly 2 tight end build, or are you pushing for too late to pair him with?
So this is something I've kind of been toying with the last couple of weeks is Madison Park Hill's data that you did a lot of good work on the elite tight end. It does kind of have poor advance rates in and of itself as elite tight end, and I'm assuming because of like the opportunity cost and needing to hit on the elite tight end or tight ends that really separate. So at that point, I've kind of been toying with taking an elite tight end and then you pair him with 2 late tight ends, and I know that hurts your allocation total, but as far as like the value of allocation, really cheap cost, and you're helping pad that both from a advancement standpoint, from just like, if they miss any weeks or take zeros. And I think the zeros like underperforming really poorly and then punting it off really late. And maybe that's what hurts it is elite tight end when you're punting it. Like one guy super late, we don't care, and that hurts your advance rates. But 2 may help you navigate it. And then maybe just maybe you get the lucky nuke week, fill in at flex, your other tight end puts up, 8 points or whatever. And so I'm thinking about maybe applying it there when I do finish receiver at 6 or 7 and quarterback at 2. It's a maybe. It just depends on like how is my room come together, who's available, because I think it's very profile sensitive as well. That's
Yeah,
kind of how I'm playing.
it's so tricky with elite tight end because the
Mm.
sample's so noisy because it largely comes down to Travis Kelsey stuff. But yeah, if you can squeeze through, then it's well worth it. One pick away with a 2.471 currently. Ben Sinnott seems to be starting to fall occasionally. He's not somebody I'd be desperate for, but I don't mind if you like him. In terms of the other players, it's kind of much of a muchness at running back. So, what's your gut saying, Tyler?
It's one of McLaughlin or Chuba. Think I like Chuba more for
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
the role. My thing with McLaughlin is I'm worried he's just a change of pace boom guy. I'm not sure how that room's going to stack up. It's become more ambiguous, which is probably a target, but every once in a while he falls. For Chuba, he's clearly better than Sanders, and we're not sure how Jonathan Brooks' recovery is going to go. We expect him to start off slow. We expect this team to run a shitload, and we've seen a Canales backfield be able to give another back 8 to 10 touches a game to mix in. And that with Chuba, again, in a zero running back room like this, I like his ability to just kind of give us a few really good weeks, even if it's early on, because we'd like to get this team, advanced out, and that every week matters, but especially the late weeks. And if they're actually really churning and doing well, Brooks, he's going to be more of the pass catcher guy. Chuba can still break off some efficient runs. I think just volume wise, and with how
Yeah,
efficient the run game could be, I still like him a little bit more over a McLaughlin, and maybe that's just because
I think it's a completely fair bet to make as well. Like we both like Jonathan Brooks and are drafting plenty of Jonathan Brooks, but making that hedge occasionally that it doesn't work out is fine. Quick question from Rory in the chat: how many WrestleManias did you go unbeaten at, Tyler?
let me answer this question appropriately. You know I haven't lost a single game at WrestleMania because I go hard and nobody out wrestles the emo cowboy. Also, I missed PPR Tyler's question earlier about being a Saints fan. I am not a Saints fan. I'll answer that question in more detail after we make this pick. Let's see. Yeah,
Ben
Sin has
Snook.
been falling about 2 rounds, so I don't feel like needing to catch him as he falls.
So in terms of where we're at, yeah, and then he goes just before our picks. So we've got Juwan Johnson, Isaiah Likely, Chigakonkwo. I mean, we could probably wait and take Chigakonkwo if we wanted for some week 17 correlation with our Jacksonville stack. In terms of the running back position, it feels a bit meh. Jonnu Smith, I'd be fine with. That also gives us some correlations. So
Yeah, let's go ahead
Tyler,
and take the tight end stack because if we do end up staying at 2, I do really like access to 2 different bye weeks, 2 high scoring offenses, team stack, bring back. It hits all the nice things, and uh, we could just we could stay at
yeah,
that if we want, and if not, I still like having someone like Jonnu that could really pop. Just all
yeah.
the McDaniels commentary about his yak ability in this offense. Let's just get yak guys that are the cheapest parts of a high scoring offense.
Yeah, and before you go back to the Saints stuff, Paul saying if good news stats come out, Brooks' recovery he shoots up to the 6th round. Absolutely believe that's
Yep.
in play. Like it could be so easy for him if he doesn't start camp on pup or anything like that to be just one of
And
those players
and
who
Chuba's
gets
cost is
super.
still one of the cheaper handcuffs. Like if he's just a handcuff, excellent. I'm taking a lot of Brooks. I'm positive about Brooks. I just also am very aware that he could start slowly and they might manage him in the first few weeks of the season. And that's valuable given we have a hodgepodge room and you never know who's gonna, miss time or whatever. Um Not a Saints fan, but this is a Drew Brees signed helmet that I won at a hot sauce convention raffle, um, charity auction, blah blah blah. Wife's from New Orleans. I've got some Saints memorabilia, potentially for the father-in-law, but sometimes he doesn't care what I give him, so I just hang on to it myself. That's pretty much it. Um, yes, I do have someone in the Discord a while back when this became like a running bit with the Pit Vipers of a no, I'm totally blanking. One of those fun like shirts of Macho Man Randy Savage all over the place. So I'd love to do that. Actually, now that I think of this, when we have Daigle on, Daigle and I should definitely have like we gotta. I'm gonna try to push him to do some WrestleMania shit with me because that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I booked him for a DraftKings show, but maybe that's an oversight on my part, and I need
That's
to
okay.
rope him
That's
in
okay.
for
It's
Underdog
it's probably
instead.
for the best that we don't get to overlap
No,
because
no.
we have too much fun and break the algorithm. Diggle's
Well, look,
Diggle's great.
we'll find another draft. John's always down to come on, so we'll definitely let's see. We got him coming up on the 19th of June, so we'll get him back in July. John, I know you're watching, obviously, so just write in the diary all now already. And if you didn't hear earlier in the stream, we have Pat from Fantasy Dog Pound on tomorrow, and then Justin Herzig for DraftKings show on Wednesday and then Roto Run himself on the following Monday. So lots of good people coming to hopefully impart some wisdom and take us to the jackpot. Do we need a running back here, or do you want to sit at 5?
Oh no, I definitely think we need a running back.
So are we going with your boy?
I think Foreman makes more sense in this build.
Okay. Yeah,
Thought
I don't mind that. I think like Foreman, I've been drafting more Jerome Ford than anyone else, but I can definitely get there. And it just works for the Cleveland correlation we've got, the Miami correlation we've got.
yeah.
And if Nick Chubb comes back and just isn't able to be himself, then
Yeah,
it
Ford
just
went really early. I'm trying to get as much Ford as I can, but he goes about a round early for him.
yeah.
So I figure if we didn't take, and we also passed on Chubb earlier, so
Yeah.
at least
I
from
would
a room standpoint.
be passing on Chubb the entire off season. I just can't get there. I think like, I was somebody comfortable drafting him last year and ended up at around 12% or so. And obviously the injury hurts, but it's like just done this dance, done it with Javante, done it with J.K. Dobbins. And at a certain point you just go, it's not about the player, it's not about his ability or his age or even the fact that he had a bad injury in college. It's just about the fact that running backs coming back from these injuries when it's multi-ligament, multiple surgeries, they aren't going to be efficient. He isn't going to get much of a preseason, if anything. and then you're betting on a guy going in there when they have two players in the backfield who are decent bets. Like Chubb's ceiling outcome to me just feels so capped. And everyone goes, well, it doesn't matter if he gets there in week 17 and he rips off 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's great, but we can say that about anyone we want to. What if Donta Foreman does that in week 17? What if Chuba Hubbard does that? It's a meaningless statement without anything really backing it up when we know that Chubb could be completely awful this year when he does get back. What if he's like J.K. Dobbins and
Yeah.
needs an additional second surgery to clean up scar tissue, which they won't even know about for months yet? So,
Yep.
yeah, I
I
fully,
like when it's like this because it's like, yeah, he was inactive. They had injuries in the backfield. He got active and he scored 4 touchdowns. I don't care if he's active all season. I care for a 17th round pick in a good Stefanski run offense for a running back who's proven to be valuable.
I mean, how many other running backs in this range are going to be inactive? Elijah Mitchell could be inactive if Isaac Guerrero suddenly becomes great, or Tank Bigsby. I mean, he was freaking awful last year.
Health is a thing, yeah. This sure feels like probably a tight end over a running back, unless you have someone you really like that you'd like to add.
I was going to say Mike Gesicki kind of is okay to me. There's running back wise, I've drafted a little bit of Alexander Mattison in the last couple of days in these last round dart throws because he's probably not as bad as his ADP is saying. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, Mike Gesicki or Alexander Mattison, where do you want to go with it, Tyler? Anyone you want to make a case for?
I'm having a hard time drafting Gesicki considering this. It's the Bengals have like 5 tight ends on their roster, so I think we probably just take another dart at running back and go 2-7-7-2. That seems like probably the prudent move.
Yep. Could you recap our team for us?
All right, so we finished up with a 2-7-7-2 build. Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff at quarterback. Running back, we have Jalen Warren, James Conner, Antonio Gibson, Jalen Wright, Chuba Hubbard, Donta Foreman, a.k.a. Healthy Scratch, and Alexander Madison. Wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, Amari Cooper, Christian Kirkland, McConkey, J-Mo, Gabe Davis at tight end, Sam Laporta, and Jonnu Smith. I really like this team, and this is a unique build for me in the Poodle thus far at number 11.
Yeah, so just if you could flip back to the draft board, like, were there any pivot points where it feels like we could have gone differently? Like, I mean, the 2 tight end thing, maybe that was a decision point. We could have said maybe we took somebody a slightly earlier instead. But
I think it was just deciding to take Gabe Davis a little after ADP to double stack, and missing out on some of our favorite running back pockets. And yet, I think being uncomfortable in a 0 running back build where we have 7 is fine because we finished quarterback when we did. We got an elite tight end, so knowing we probably didn't want to go 3, instead stick with 2. And so, all that being said, I don't mind it at all.
Yeah. In terms of people in the chat, if you've been doing 2772s, let us know. It's not a build we've built many of in our Best Ball Mania.
Probably the first one we built, to be honest.
Yeah. And I think I don't mind building balanced at this point. Like, I think as the off season goes on, I'm more prone to building more and more fragile or leaning heavily to certain positions, bits like that. But like at this point, there's still so much we don't know. And taking a bit of balance like that, particularly, I mean, when was our first running back drafted? Was it round 7, round 8?
Yeah, round 8 with Jalen Warren, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure if you look at things like the Underdog roster construction explorer on Rotoviz, that'll possibly be suboptimal sometimes, but making up for it in volume at running back, I'm quite happy with that, really. Tyler, any other thoughts from this draft?
Yeah, it's just one thing that I've learned from the last 3 years on Underdog is that earlier in the offseason, I can definitely be prone to taking 0 running back a little too literally. Drafting a running back late and then ending with just 5 or 6 guys I feel really good about, and then getting to the end of the season and kind of bemoaning, man, I had too much confidence on some of these 13th plus round running backs. And if I would have had one more just to help with another week or two, that would have gone a long way. So I think in this build, we feel really good about our wide receivers. We feel really good about our stacks. We feel good about how the rookie plus the veteran, combos work, high scoring offenses, high scoring passing offenses. I think we targeted those really well. So at running back, I think I need to remind myself, and this is a good draft to do that, of like, hey, spray and pray, because I will tend to get, hey, if I get my Marshawn Lloyd, Jerome Ford, and Ty Chandlers, I only need like 5 running backs. Well, that's cool. I like those guys a lot. It's very possible that 2 or 3 of those guys are also duds to suck. And all of us, like Tank Bigsby, if he was my running back 5 on all of my builds last year, because he's definitely getting work. Those builds
I
cratered.
know that song.
Yeah. So remind myself that have a little less confidence. And especially because like have as much confidence as my draft capital allotment should have. So if I drafted those guys pretty late, I should have less confidence they're the guy. And so I probably need a little bit more. And at numbers, we got straight handcuffs. We got some standalone value guys. And we're not sure how that's going to work out. We don't know if those guys are going to get anything. We don't know if those guys are good. We don't know if they're going to stay healthy. So yeah, at this point in the season, it's nice to build some chaos depth back. So,
Yeah. And it's not like it goes away from a mantra of draft like you're right. We've drafted like we're right on a bunch of players within this, but the idea of draft like you're right on players, it's not about drafting a roster where you're completely right on every single player. So yeah, for me, it definitely is a mix of all those things. But yeah, Tyler, I'm going to bounce out of here. I know that you're planning on drafting another one of these, giving the people what they want. Once you've dressed up like this, it deserves another stream. So I will leave you to crack on with that and keep drafting as much as your miserable heart's content. But for the people, we'll be back, both of us together tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, with Pat Fantasy Dog Pound. DraftKings draft on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, with Justin Herzig. And guys, just keep the emo jokes rolling. Throw everything you've got at Tyler, and I will see you all soon. Tyler, good drafting, man.
Thanks, Tom. Catch you later, Bubba. All right, y'all. I know you missed the first one, so let's see if we can't get a few more of y'all. I'll give you a sec. Get your thumbs and your deposits ready. 3, 2, go. All right, there you go, guys. Is that fun? Y'all having a good time? We having a good time up in this bitch. 215 people watching Emo Cowboy take on the Poodle. Please like, please subscribe. Join us for more. You know you like it. How's everybody's Sunday going? It's actually perfect. It started raining the second the stream started where I'm at. So, sad boy hours. Wow, we're going to get to run back the 5-hole again here. There we go. Friends and family. Purple Yosh, a.k.a. Steampunk Mario and Underdog. We've got, what else do we have? DM Zero Zone or Demo Zone. I never know how to pronounce your name, but he's a regular. Lovely KZ. And we got fully loaded back at the turn. It's going to get spicy in the back. You kind of don't like the 101. It's a time box. Follow your heart, Yosh. Follow your heart. Oh, cool. I always forget Josh's bonos. All right, cool. I'm going to get no value. Neither one of us is going to get value. We're just going to keep scooping each other. That's probably how this is going to go. Let's see. I forget. What do we got? Y'all hear the music coming on? I'm going to add some new stuff coming in the future, especially some more emo stuff coming. So let me know if you can hear the music. I want to have some more music streams. Chris Manzoni, I don't know how you pronounce that. The guy that made the Best Ball Summer song said that we could use it on stream. So definitely going to be putting some new stuff. Okay. Yeah, that's what we're saying, Tom. 60 times. Emo high. That's how we do it. Yosh going hyper fragile CMC. Cool. I guess I'm not getting HN or in the third, I guess. It's night drive, David. It's night drive. Hold on. I'll play around in a sec. I'm gonna get another Bijan into the 5. Let's see. It's this one. Ugh. What is this? I hate that. This is garbage too. Those are ass. Okay, well, we're going back to night driving, and let's see. Wish we had more stuff. I gotta load more stuff in. I'll load more stuff in. It's all good. I'm trying to hit up some of the scene guys like Kurt Travis, who owns Esquire Records, Swan Records, Will Swan from Dance Gavin Dance, and Royal Coda, and just see if I can't get some of their. I know some of them have DMCA free, royalty free tracks. That's obviously what I would like. Just awesome ripping, noodling, and Weedles. The good shit, as I would say. So, that's what I want to use for tracks, but we'll get there. And is the volume good? I know you've got to get it like well over 30. Beat the DOS. Fuck the DOS. Long live emo. Just kidding. Everybody's welcome. It's all Gucci. Pet peeve of mine that no one cares about, but people that call pop punk and hardcore and industrial goth emo, it's not. But as a gatekeeper that's grown up a little bit, I understand that while your labeling is wrong, I forgive you, and it's okay, and you're welcome. So it's good. You like this flatulent fantasy? Thanks for joining, by the way. Appreciate you. You've been awesome supporting on Twitter and in the chats. Love the name, by the way. Love the profile pic. Good old Randy Moss taking a shit on the goalpost. Love it. Yes. Classic. How you doing, Casey? How's everybody doing? How's LA? I just doxed you. Studying for the bar. We have Law Yosh. Purple Law. Wow. Oh, I nailed that. I heard it in my head and I was going to give it a try. God, you're welcome, guys. It's top tier. All right, we're coming up on our second pick as we vamp into the endless void. Started out with Bijan at 5. Oh my God. Oh, woo. Wait, that was Chip. Value. Olave. I don't love him, but I'm taking him when he drops. That's what I'm saying. Or Steampunk Law. Law Punk Mario. Fuck your laws. Workshop it. Thanks everybody for hanging out on the second poodle. Oh, did I fuck that up? Oh yeah, no, that would actually be hilarious. I'm just studying the bar trivia. Chris Mazzoni, you'll have to correct me. I was just talking about you, bud. Talking about how I'll have to play your track when I get the MP3 downloaded. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Drop a like. Drop a sub. I'm on the clock. You guys are not playing nice. I don't think I have Metcalf with the top 5 pick in Poodle so far, and I like his ceiling in a vacuum, and I think his floor and efficiency can be really boosted with a healthy O-line just once. Please, both tackles stay healthy just once, and a new, much more efficient offense under Grubb. Yeah, I've seen some folks get Kyron in the 4th in these Poodles. I just saw this morning Kyron go at the 3-4 turn for the 12-hole drafter. So, yes, And that's why I've been trying to just get him balls, but God, I'm just always on the wrong side of the board when he does. Thank you much. Yeah, just DMs on Twitter or on Discord, whatever works. Let me know this. Yeah, curious. Law Yosh teases I'm fragile and then goes Malik Neighbor and Stefan Diggs out of the one hole. What a liar. What a fucking liar. But I like doing that too. I mean, you have CMC. Get him to the goddamn finals. I just like it anytime a CMC team can destroy its odds. So anytime they can go 5 running backs, someone did that. In one of the rooms yesterday, I saw someone had like a 5 running back start with CMC. You gotta love just absolutely toasting your QB. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate you. I know, long anticipated. My smoky eyes and my emo look. Gotta have fun with it. You really gotta. Me too. Hard to say no. Except for when you realize who his quarterbacks are, and then it feels absolutely disgusting. All of your Jaden R belong to me. And Ross, be raging. Also my Twitch. Thanks for joining. Welcome. Drop a like, drop a 7. Welcome to Fantasy Football Sanctuary. I am your podcast host, Emo Cowboy, the emoist of cowboyists. I'm on the clock with the 4th pick. Trey McBride goes. Travis Etienne falls to me. This is for the audio listeners. I take a lot of Amari Cooper. I have yet to pair him with DK Metcalf and Chris Olave and Bijan Robinson, so that's what we're going to do. For the audio listeners at home, for Poodle number 2, Tom had to leave us, for he is far across the pond in a different time zone. We started Bijan Robinson out of the 5 hole, followed up with a very nice ADP value Chris Olave, DK Metcalf, and fan favorite in this household, Amari Cooper, he of the nuclear weeks. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate you. What you got going on? So we don't mess each other up. Oh, well, yeah, you gave me Amari with taking my boy Trey, so nice little game stack correlation there with Cup and McBride. Andrews goes. Stroud goes early unstacked to Bud Belly's 69. I bet 69ing a fat tummy for her is probably good, right? You get like chest support? Or is it hard because it's more like work on your neck? These are my honest thought musings out loud on the interweb for all to hear. We are going to follow that with a falling Christian Kirk, and we've officially gotten 2 different Amari Cooper and Christian Kirk teams on the Emo Cowboy Poodles. Very nice. Hey, John Wayne, don't pass up on Adonai Mitchell now, you hear? I don't know why I gave you a southern accent, Ross and Raging. Ross, what kind of accent would you like me to reread that in? Loved your and Tom's first draft stacking Jaguars and Lions. Yes, yeah. That video on our channel was a lot of fun and is fun to keep coming back to, especially as prices really haven't moved for any of those guys. I've seen Evan Ingram falling in these Poodle rooms. I've gotten him at the turn from the 12 hole and like the 83, 86 ADP. Taking shots on him there, especially when I have when I took Brian Robinson early. Like I said, again, in these time box contests, definitely taking shots on different mixing and matching when I can, just because you're less likely to get a lot of those overlapping image pools. And as DM Ozone says, or DMO's one, week 17 is all that matters in the poodle. It's true. It is all that matters. and thus we correlate. I'm not showing you the draft board. I apologize, my lovely viewers. Fully loaded with the Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes stack out of the 12 hole. Saw that a lot. Saw that from Davis Maddock, aka Brutal, Merciless Bitch Sniper of Kyler unstacked. I'm not salty. 12 hole, Jahmyr Gibbs, Drake London, Kelce, Mahomes, Hollywood, Chris Godwin. That's fun. Nice little Mahomes double stack early. KZ absolutely pissing. With Puka Marv, Tank Dell, Laporta Awu falling back, very nice. With Xavier Worthy and Roma Doomsday. KZ, very nice. How are you gonna fuck this team up? I can't wait to see. Said with all 11 in the world. DMO zone with the Green Bay double stack. Josh Jacobs, Jason Reed. Antoine 5 with a very robust Breece Hall, Devontae Adams, Derrick Henry, Josh Allen, and James Cook build. Please take him the running back. There's a tight end line. You're going to get the tight end. Do it. Do it, bitch. Right back in on the chat. Ross B. Raging says, if all you care about is Week 17, stack that Houston game, my boy. We are. Only problem is the bye weeks do overlap, so we have to be mindful about that. Got to get there. DMO zone is right. Gotcha. All right. Fuck you, Josh. I guess we'll just have to... I should probably... I want Lad. I know Yoshi's going to take Lad, but I should probably mix... No, this team is so old. Okay, I'm getting that. You're not taking Lad McConkey from me, you bitch. Talking to Purple Yosh, who likes the guys I like. Very tough scene. I hate to see it. Let's see. Oh, Flatulent Fantasy with the very nice $6.90 super chat starting the Cosmetics Fund. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So curious. The Cosmetics Fund. Does this mean you expect more guyliner? Are you expecting contouring? Maybe perhaps YouTube makeup tutorials? Fun fact, I have a cousin who has a beauty makeup YouTube channel. I am on the clock in the 7th round. No one fun felled me. Looking for correlation. I guess I'll take Ingram. Yeah, I'll take Ingram. I don't love Ingram at that price, but correlation, no strong feelings. So correlation means just go with it. I'm gonna pull this over here. I know this is telling you myself, but I actually haven't fully memorized all the Week 17 matchups yet because by not knowing, I want to allow myself to kind of diversify a little bit more and also allow myself to check the playoff schedule weeks. And then every once in a while, that'll let me go oh, well, here's a correlation of 2 weeks instead of just 1 week. In that way. So that's my excuse for being a little lazy this year and not having them all memorized. Some of them kind of just in my head, Las Vegas and Indianapolis and New Orleans and the Giants, I keep getting those matchups mixed up a lot. So what do you do? Let's see. DMO Zone says, your professional opinion, Derek Carr, guyliner or not? I mean, it certainly seems that way. And if he's not, he's got the darkest freaking eyelid I've ever seen in my life. Josh says, I am daring KZ with oops. Oh, I see. You know what? I've seen him fall to that in probably half my draft so far, so I'm fine pushing it. Rossby Raging says Voodoo. It's all caps, so maybe he's saying Voodoo, whatever the hell that means. But I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us in the chat. I don't know why I go into an NPR voice whenever I'm appreciating chat, but it's better than calling you a bunch of godless chat rats, isn't it? You know? So, once a chat rat, always a chat rat. Yeah, same. I find myself kind of going back to the last year's. Voodoo is white voodoo, sending your lucky voodoo your way. Hey, I'll take it. Appreciate you. Are you saying voodoo because you see a New Orleans Saints helmet and New Orleans is losing the hair? Hold on, let me get you sickos hair over the eyes. What you paid for, isn't it? You didn't pay for this. You just liked. Howdy, Chris. Right, Chris. Hashtag Candyman, aka Candyman, aka Fantasy Football Garage, streaming PBMs late at night. If you're a late night crowd, he's got some nice like lo-fi going as he walks through his picks. Real sharp dude. Really appreciate him. He was just on Fantasy Dog Bound stream last night doing some poodles. I think it was 3 at the same time. That was a fun time. And we'll be having Dog Pound on tomorrow night. Tom and I will be back here on the Fantasy Football Sanctuary, ripping a Best Ball Mania draft with Pat, aka Fantasy Dog Pound of the Pounders. Great dude. It should be a fun time because we think very differently. Oh, did Josh miss out? He did. He dared Casey, and Casey said, F you, bro. F you. I respect it. Pull to Davis Maddock. Let's see. I don't have a quarterback here. I was going to try to play the little timing game. I don't mind Zach Moss there. I probably wanted a quarterback to back stack with this fun team I got going on there, but indecision is a bitch, and I was slow on the draw. That's okay. I will end up taking the same combos I end up taking most likely. An advanced version of Gritty, aka Davis Maddock, advanced Gritty, per William Murphy, aka four-time Best Ball champion and hot tub owner. Let's see. Purple Yosh says, I still cannot believe it is still only June. Underdog is warping my brain. Yeah, you're in draft rooms all the time. It just flies by. We are going to slam the draft button on Cortland Sutton. So through 9 rounds for the audio listeners on our second draft. With a 0-2-6-1 build. Tyler is pushing quarterback once again. It's all I can do the last week or so. Bijan Robinson, Zach Moss at running back. At receiver, we have Chris Olave, DK Metcalf, Amari Cooper, Christian Kirk, Ladd, the GOAT, the Kid, the Legend, McConkey, and Cortland Cromulent Sutton with Evan Ingram at tight end. Perhaps the most cromulent, boring tight end in all the land. He feels like last year's Dallas Goedert. Boring, fine, unexciting ADP. Access to a more exciting offense than he is. Thoughts? Rossby Raging says, you ain't getting near my wife with them eyes, you know, cowboy. Hey, I get it. Yeah, like, don't dare Casey to do anything. He's a madman. He'll do it. And he'll do it and stare you right down as he does. Antoine's dead on the right. Yes, it is. And may we all give thanks for this Lord's Day blessing of killing a team in our pond so that we may have one less cannibalizing of one another to make it smooth. Fantasy Football Garage says it's going to be a great stream. I look forward to it. Yeah, I can't wait. Pat and I it's always a good time. And the three of us all have some different player takes and stances, and it should be a weird team for all of us. We have a 3 QB team. Is that Antoine? Yeah, Antoine with the 3-4-1-1 build out of the 7-hole. Breece Hall, Monte Adams, Derrick Henry, Josh Allen, James Cook, Anthony Richardson, Jake Ferguson, Joe Burrow, Nick Chubb. Hey, you know what? This Superflex team fucks, dude. It fucks. It's pretty impressive to kill a Breece Hall team and a Josh Allen team and an Anthony Richardson team at the same time. The Nick Chubb is the Chubb on top right there on that team. Incredible. KZ stacking up Kyler with some Trey Benny Ben and Brian Robinson, one of my favorites. Super fun. So glad you could get him and not me. Rage Be Raisin says somebody head to head with me on date DK this year. Give me best ball head to head. I don't think you can, but I do know that it's something a lot of people have been asking about. And Underdog is actually working on a new contest. You can have like a head-to-head format in best ball tournaments. Sick. It's gonna be one of those poodle rooms, huh? Let's see what you're up to, bastards. Anyway, yeah, to finish up the point about best ball head-to-head, if you didn't see the stream with Game Maker over at Underdog Fantasy, Hope Bishop, a couple weeks back on this channel, go check it out. It was a super fun stream where we talked about upcoming contests, upcoming dogs for contests, and potential new contests in the works either this year or next year. You were well aware of the Superflex dropping soon if you tune into that, and definitely a fun video to go back and watch and check out for some behind the scenes on employee contests, new contests getting rolled out, reasoning behind some tournaments getting adapted and changed, payout structures, all that good stuff. Super fun time with Hope. Very much. I think you should go back and check it out. Let's see what Purple Yosh got going on the 1-hole. Curtis Samuel, Dallas Goedert, and Dontavian Wicks. The most prominent 3 picks possible. I mean, you kind of went hyper fragile there with Pacheco, Monty, and Raheem. Yosh. I'll be interested to see what your. I'm feeling I know what your quarterbacks are going to be. Will we be competing? Perhaps. Can I afford to push him around? Who took Palmer? Bloodbelly 69 pushed him. Do we get greedy? No, because there's a team in here with 3 quarterbacks. Probably not, huh? I wanted to push him. I really did. I've been enjoying the hell out of pushing Justin Herbert all the way around. But I don't trust these sickos. News update, y'all. Hyperfragile now just means 4 old running backs. Down bad. Zoomers be calling the youngins old. No, Raheem Mostert does add, like, what? A cumulative 20 vibes years to that running back room. Let's see. We got Josh McAfee, right? Is it McAfee or McAtee? McAtee. I always want to say McAfee, and I know that's wrong. Josh McAtee, a.k.a. Bow Nose 34, right next to me at the 6-hole with Monra, Tito Samuel, Cup, Trey McBride, Keenan Allen, Brian Thomas, No Jr., JSN, James Conner, Javonte Williams, Trevor Lawrence, Rico Dowd. Very nice. Yeah. Nice. Very nice. Like that. Did it do that good? Fantasy Football Garage says I still like Herbert, even at ADP. Hard to predict when he'll fall that far. Agree. I'm just willing to push it as not as excited about him at ADP, and knowing that the room kind of feels that way as well. There's not really anyone that you really want to stack him with outside of Palmer. Like I've seen him fall to I've gotten him to fall 150s twice in these Poodles, and so I just push it, going, you could take an unstacked Herbert with fucking QJ, and I don't care. Or you can let me have him 20 picks past ADP and let me get some of my preferred guys. But as a reminder to myself, ADP value is not as important of a win. Like, say I get Herbert 20 picks after ADP. That's like what? As meaningful as 30 picks of ADP value from rounds 3 to 5. So it just makes me feel good, but it's stupid if it locks me out. And I did take Lad, so I'm hoping it gets locked and absolutely unleashed on the world and all those who would doubt and you just need a little bit more emotional background music. It's just my speed. What's KZ up to? He takes golf, stacks up with I'm blocked. 2-2. I think we take Jalen Polk. He'll bring back Justin Herbert. I like Polk a lot, and I want to get more Polk. Unfortunately, I tend to just double tap one of two of Lloyd, Miller, or Chandler in that range. So I need to be mindful of mixing more of that in, especially when I got Bijan and 2 additional running backs. Josh saying that was his first time going Dallas running back, and it was Rico. And I hate to be that guy, but I got Rico at 155 the last 2 drafts. I've been pushing him when I have Hurts or Philly stuff, and I've gotten him to come right back to this 155 to 158 range. So if you're going to push a Dallas running back, it's not Zeke, it's Rico. FYI. Seems like a little bit more casuals in these streets, or people just pushing construction and player takes. Purple Yosh says he's probably too high on Pacheco, but I just treat him like he's a second round pick. I can't disagree with you too much. I was listening to the Leg Up Best Ball Rankings video pod, and Daniel Raz was saying that he's kind of like a classic round 3 pick. So I don't think we're far off there at all. With a 1-3-7-1 build, I think I'm going to take Gibson to stack up with Polk. Now we have a little bit of a New England team stack bring back. I love allergies. Allergy season's awesome. DMO Zone asks, do I like to hand cuck? Brother, big cuck guy. I love to cuck. Oh, running back hand cuck. It fully depends on the backfield and the price. I'm not hand cucking in the first 6 rounds because the way I've allocated resources, that 6th-round pick needs to hit. Maybe if he's free, in the Kansas City backfield right now, Pacheco and CEH. Pacheco's going, 5th round, but CEH is a last round pick. I'm fine with it. in theory, from like a ping pong, miss a game or two standpoint, that still seems a little thin though, because the thing with running back handcuffs is you ideally want another backfield's handcuff. You want chaos to benefit you. And in the handcuff environment, you've handcuffed yourself. You're not getting access to that same thing because there's no, and Gretsch talked about this a little bit too, on a recent stream, about that backup cuff doesn't necessarily, get all of the projected volume of its running back in front of him. He's definitely going to be a little bit worse and less efficient, if not much worse, much less efficient with that work. And so what are you really winning when you're doing that? So I don't want the handcuff too often. I think backfield that makes sense this year is maybe like the Dallas guys, because they're both cheap and you just want those points. Miami last year, different example of like, Raheem and Achane both round 10, round 9 and under guys, high scoring offense. I think I handcuff in those environments where like the price and the backfield like points allow me to just consolidate it. But I don't really want to do that with like huge gaping ADP separation if I can help it. That makes sense. And the Minnesota backfield's like really on the precipice of that, right? Because Jones is like a 7th, 8th round pick and Chandler is there. I think it's fine. I think Chandler's one of the more likely guys to see all the work if Jones misses. But also Chandler does have like some standalone value. Like Aaron Jones can rip off like 100-yard and touchdown game, and then Chandler can also mix in for like 3 catches and a random touchdown. So I don't think it's egregious, and we're just gonna keep building out this New England stack. And I guess exactly what's coming for Cowboys. 12 Poodle. Yeah, I could tell. I saw the ranks, and so I think Minnesota. I think the backfield I'm handcuffing when I am. I'm not doing it a ton, but when it lines up, it's probably Dallas. It's probably Cleveland. I don't mind that one at all. It's just so cheap, and maybe like 2 of the cheaper Denver guys. And maybe, and I've handcuffed the Carolina back too, because there is a very real chance like Hubbard's the starter for 2 to 3 weeks with some standalone like mix in stuff throughout the rest of the year, and Brooks is the guy weeks 3+ on in 0 running back builds. I don't mind that at all. Estimate looks like a load. I have no idea what that means, and I don't want to ask. It sounds provocative. It gets the people going, and I like it. Yeah. Yep. Same on the Denver running back cheap guys. Yeah, I've only done that whenever I don't really like the rest of the guys that go there. I was like, I full fade on Chubb, both in my room and in the playoffs, and then just knowing that like that backfield is so efficient and Chubb's gonna likely, like we're talking like 85 to 90% likely not to be that efficient or that useful. And then those 2 guys, if I'm just kind of like SOL for running back targets. Khalil Herbert goes. That's a bummer. I would have really liked him there. Let's see. What are we doing here? Woof. All right, we're after round 14, so I'm just going to reach to get the guys I want to complete this room so that I can stay within the structure I want. I just reached for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That way, if I stop at 5 running backs, I'm comfortable with the backfields and the profiles I've targeted. Just as guys are getting steamed up and I'm in a sharper room. This is my last pick or 2 is likely going to be quarterback, and then I can decide what my last position allocation is going to be. But I don't want to be facing down the. I look at Dame as a total bust, bad pick. Tyrone, worse than not. Braylon, people are really excited about, but I have concerns. He's the RB2 for 2 weeks. Like, let's not forget with the Dallas stuff that, like, last year they had Hunter Lipke, Malik Davis, Deuce Vaughn, and then at the end of summer, Rico Dowdle's the backup. So I view the New York Jets backfield not too dissimilar from that of who is backing up Brees. So y'all can steam up Braylon all you want, but Braylon, I mean, he's big and large like Malik Davis is anyway, and that just wasn't the right play. Elijah's like a pure contingent handcuff guy. And in the backfield like this, I'd like someone that could potentially mix in. And as much as we hate CEH, he has proven to be a guy who can randomly catch 2 touchdowns in the end zone and pop, especially early in the season, weirdly. And then just one of the clearer, backup RB2s out there. So forward to quibble with that right now. He is a very large human, very Kyron-esque, of like really poor athletic profile, but really interesting college numbers. Baker's also been following 10 to 20 picks past ADP. I got him at 196 to stack with Mike Evans CMC one whole team at some point this weekend. And one of these poodles too. So FYI for Tampa Bay guys, I'm pushing those later quarterbacks who seem to be falling more often. All right, let's see. We're on the clock. 1572 build here. I think we're just gonna take Javon Baker and then finish with Drake May. So we've got Drake May, triple stack, Antonio Gibson, Jalen Polk, and Hunter Henry. And then I get to decide if I want to take a quarterback. I probably should. I think I'm gonna do Herbert plus the 2 rookies. Do bye week 14s. I don't love having 2 of the same bye weeks in a onesie, but those guys offer so much upside at. Oh, fuck! Yosh takes Bo. I am distraught. All right, I guess Derek Carr's getting stacked with Chris Olave. Fucking hell. Brutal. Is anyone else likely? Who is likely to come back? Drake May or Derek Carr? Let's see. We're looking for New Orleans. Ah! I don't know what the 3-letter abbreviation for. Oh, well. Probably going to take Carr and assume Drake comes back around since we have 3 of his pass catchers. All right, we no longer have any overlapping bye weeks at the onesies. All good, all good. That's why you have outs. It's all good. All huge. I was thinking about it, and then I thought, Baker in this room. I'm gonna take another receiver and go 5 running backs. Have a heavier bet on the younger rookie guys for the spikes. I thought for sure you were gonna. Oh, you probably still will. I won't out you. I have a feeling. AZ comes preloaded with Rashad Bateman and Demario Douglas and Marcus Robinson, but especially Bateman. That is a very KZ team. I like it. It's fun and it's ugly. Ugly but doable and exciting on the top end. KZ's team, KZ starts out with Puka, Marv, Game Stack, Tank Dell, Laporta, Value, Sexy Worthy, Sexy Rome, Ugly DeAndre, Sexy Kyler, Sexy Trey, Sexy B-Rob, Ugly Dalton, Cromulent Jared, Ugly Ray, Ugly Rashad, Cromulent Pop, Cromulent D-Rob, Ugly Keaton, Short King Greg Dortch. Is this like a pretty girl taking her top off? And it's like, whoa! No, is this an ugly girl taking her top off? Whoa! Or is it a pretty girl taking her top off? Can't tell. Hard to say. Or is this like a no, this is one of those engineers, it comes out in like a polo. They're like, oh my god, at the bar, and they're like, oh my god, he's cute. And then he takes his shirt off at the pool, and they're like, oh, it's a melting fudge pop. That's what, yeah, I've decided that's what skating's like. TMO Zone is on a handcucking Las Vegas spree. Anytime you can handcuck every single one of your guys, you gotta do it. Casey says his ugly girl goes to the prom, loses virginity. Because the ass puts in the work. And it just makes a hard time. I've been there. Ugly that. Snipe him. I dare you. All right. Well, we pushed quarterbacks and ended up with a pretty nice squad. 3-5-8-2 for Poodle number 12. We got Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, and Drake May. Running back, we have Bijan, Zach Moss, Singletary, Gibson, and CEH. Probably a little more fragile than I'd like, but I think playing some of these, you need some of these, like, hey, let's just, what if I'm right? And let's play it like such. No overlapping bye weeks also helps. And if taking Bijan at 5, I'm betting he puts up like a CFC-like type of numbers on usage and efficiency. Chris Olave, DK Metcalf, Maury Cooper, Christian Kirk, Matt McConkey, Portland Sutton, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker. Damn it! Pull it back up. Where'd it go? Fucker couldn't just wait 5 more seconds. And Evan Ingram and Hunter Henry at tight ends. We've got Drake May, quad stacked with Gibson, Polk, Baker, Hunter Henry. I like attacking some of those underpriced teams, especially when I've taken some early guys. But some guys like Olave, Metcalf, Cooper that could be a little bit more boom bust than we'd like. Some floor guys like Christian Kirk, Matt McConkey, who he's been called floor derogatory. I don't agree with that, but whatever. But I like the LAC New England game stack, and no worries at all. Drake May is a luxury pick. I just want access to a New England team that could really outperform. Madison Parkhill, free substack, maybe, I think, on Drake May risk of taking, but also the access to the teams you get. We'll jump in and review our fine folks that were in with us. Steampunk Mario does in fact go modified, hyperfragile, Dan Jones, Bo Nix, and as I suspected, a Pittsburgh quarterback in Justin Fields, Christian McCaffrey, Isaiah Pacheco, David Montgomery, Raheem Mostert, Malik Neighbors, Stephon Diggs, George Pickens, Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, Devontae Unoball, Wicks, Roman Wilson, Wandale, Shortman, Short Odds, Robinson, Troy, Shower Narrative, Franklin, Dallas Goddard, and Cole Kmet. Correctly punted, tight end, more than a minute position. We reviewed Casey's in the best way we could. Bo knows with the Trevor Lawrence, Matthew Stafford at quarterback build, James Conner, Javonte Williams. I'm trying to mix them in more. I'm mainly getting Javonte when he falls, which he's been falling to like 115, 120 some rooms. With the Rico, Zeke Elliott, handcuff back. I like it. Jalen Wright, Tonta Foreman, and Elijah Mitchell. Very, very nice. Monra, Tebow, Cooper Kupp, Keenan Allen, Brian Thomas, JSN, Tyler, empty calories, but at ADP, Boyd, and Trey McBride and Noah Fant at tight end. Nice. The MO Zone. You were the handcut god this one, right? Yeah, you 2682, Caleb Williams, Brock Purdy at quarterback, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Zamir White, Ty Chandler, Kimani Vidal, and Alexander Madison. I don't know why I want to say it with like a Wisconsin accent, but I do. Justin Jefferson at wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk, DJ Moore, Jaden Reed, Jacoby Myers, Rizzy, Pearsall, Luke McCaffrey, DJ Shark Jump, George Kittle, and Tyler Conklin. I miss anybody else? Het 711. Were you in this draft? Yes. Het 711 reveals themselves in chat. What's in like, Austin Powers and like 4 voices. I don't know. Let's check out hits. Lamar Jackson, Will Levis at quarterback. Will Levis almost undrafted. Nice value. Scoop. Joe Mixon, Kamara, Kamara 81, yeah. Jalen Warren, Tajay Spears, Bucky Irving. Solid gold digger, nearing death, running back combo room. Garrett Wilson, Nico Collins, Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley, Josh Downs, Xavier Leggett, Marvin Mims, Devontae Walker. What are you've got 8 receivers and you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 of 8 with 14. Yeah, that's tough. At least the guys you don't have that are buys are your first round pick, your third round pick, not your third, your 5th round pick. It's not great, Bob. Not great. It could hurt. And you got a double bye week at tight end and Brock Powers and Luke Musgrave and Lonnie Woods. Yeah. This is gonna have to really overachieve those 2 spots during your buys to not really make you suffer. Yep, thank you all so much. Thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe. We've got more fun stuff like this coming all the time. This was a blast. Definitely more brunch streams to come. We'll be back tomorrow with Pat from Fantasy Dog Pound to draft the Best Ball Mania team. That's going to be a load of fun. Pick his brain, chop it up. That'll be at 6 Eastern, 5 Central tomorrow here on this channel. And I'm super glad you could, crush an Underdog stream draft. Thank you much for joining. Hit the like, hit the sub. If we get to 3,000 subs, I'll probably shave off, do handlebar mustache, get a bolo tie, really, really cheese it up, do something fun for that. We'll have a fun like challenge reward for the Pete Overzet stream coming later this summer. We've got a lot of fun guests on tap this week, like Tom mentioned, for the DK drafts, as well as our Best Ball Mania drafts and some time box content itself. We'll be back. Thanks so much for joining. And as always, have a great day and stay frosty.